Yo, man, let me just jump right into it, man. Lox versus Dipset. It was a fire battle, man. A definite classic, man. You definitely can't deny that. It started off a little bit late. I don't know exactly what happened in the background, but it was a whole different environment. In the Madison Square Garden arena, they had a few boxing matches, performances, and all kind of shit beforehand. So, you know, the battle was actually the last thing that happened, man. But it was late. But when the Lox showed up, you know, shit changed up. And then, you know, the Dipset came out late, though. You know, the Lox was out there for a little bit. And then, you know, waiting on the Dipset, calling them out, like, when these niggas gonna come out? And then they finally popped up. But before all of that, you know, they had a DJ holding it down. He was playing a lot of Jay-Z records, a lot of DMX records, getting the crowd warmed up. And I'm glad the crowd was into it, man, because once Dipset finally came out, man, the shit just took off, man. The Lox, they kicked it off. You know, if you watch previous versus battles, the one that came out first, the group or the artists that came out first, they always go last. But you know Cam, how he is, man, he wasn't having that shit. You know, he wanted the Lox to go first. He ain't want to go first, so you know, the Lox went first, and you know, that was not the best thing for Dipset. You know, that started a chain of events, man. You seen the difference between the two squads right from the beginning. They kicked it off. The Lox kicked it off with "Fuck You." All of them did they shit, performed their verse. Yeah, but the Lox, they kicked it off with that "Fuck You," man. And they set the tempo off early with the energy, man, because it was getting kind of tense out there from the moment Dipset came out late. So, you know, the Lox set the tempo with the "Fuck You" and shit. You know, they was performing it, like kind of saying it in their face and shit. And the stage got crowded super quick over the course of the battle. As they got deeper into the rounds, the stage got filled up quick. But yeah, the "Fuck You" was fire. Everybody performed their verses. And you know, Dipset, they went off into the "I'm Ready." And you know, the shit was fire, but I ain't gonna lie, man, I don't like the version that they would perform when they be chanting the "We are ready now," whatever they were saying. I ain't like that version. I like the album version, the one that everybody fuck with. I don't like the one when they do the chant over the girl that sang the "I'm ready to learn" part, whatever. But anyway, man, I definitely had that round to the Lox. And in Santana, he forgot his lyrics. If you really look into it, man, it was kind of fucked up, man. Santana, he was definitely on one. I think he snorted a little coke before he came to the battle, you know. And he was on a little bit of that lean too, man. You seen it all in his eyes, man. And you know, if the Lox wasn't mature as they are, and as grown and developed as they are, they probably would have snuffed Santana back in the day. He was super wild with it, but man, they maintained their composure. The shit was for New York. It was all love, and the shit worked out. But round two, they had they dropped "Banned for TV." Shit was fire. We already know that's a classic track. All the heavy spitters on there. The Lox killed that shit. You know, Sheek Louch. You know, we already know how the Lox is. He ain't no mystery. You know, it's kind of like a duel with a third extra member, man. That's pretty much what it is, man. Sheek Louch did his thing. He performed a few verses and all that too. But you know, for the most part, you know, he was hype. He was the hype man, and kind of like the security too, in the eyes and ears when Styles and Jada couldn't look. And he did it to a T, man. Sheek Louch held it down. Definitely rock with Sheek Louch, man. You know, he definitely did his thing. But look, they performed "Banned from TV," and you already know Kissing Styles killed that shit. Killed it. And you know, Dipset answered back with crunk music, and that shit was fire. When they played crunk music, the crowd was feeling that shit. Jim Jones was doing his thing. It was fire. I don't even think Cam'ron spit a verse on that. They cut it out before Cam parted the rap. Then Lox came back out with the "Y'all started something." Killed that shit, barring it down. No, and Jada brought attention to this, man. I'm talking about the Lox. I got so much more respect for them. And Jada, he moved up so much more on the list and being that top 5 dead or alive. Him and Styles P, man. Sheek too, man. Everybody did they fucking thing. Just the 3 of them dudes, man. The Trinity, man. The Holy Trinity. They did they thing. But yeah, they killed that shit, performing that shit when they ain't have to have their vocals over in the background, killing that shit, you know. And then they got Cam dropped "Suck It or Not." He came back with "Suck It or Not," and that shit was fire. And when they mentioned that shit too, when Cam played "Suck It or Not," they was like, we gotta bring Cam out, cause Cam ain't spit his verse for "You Ready, I'm Ready" the first time, and he ain't spit his verse for the second song for Crunk Music. So he came out with "Suck It or Not," and that was kind of a Cameron moment, man. The crowd was rocking with that shit heavy, word for word, killing that shit. And you know, then D Block came back with the almighty D Block anthem, man. The "This Is D Block Mighty," man. Crowd was super into it. And the funny thing about that, when they was performing that shit, the whole Dipset, I think Jimmy, all of them, when they was like marching in the back and shit. Cameron, all of them, they was marching in the back like they were soldiers and shit, trying to make fun of the Lock song, cause it is kind of army-ish. That's a fact. But it's still a fire song though, that's a fact. But they was kind of making fun of it and shit. But you know, the crowd was fucking with it heavy, man. That D Block shit. But after they finished that, they went straight into Santana's Town, and we already know that's a classic. You know, the Dipset. But you know, by the time they perform that song, it's kind of like the Locks had control of the whole room. Jada, that experience showed the fact that he been in the battle before. He probably watched all the battles very closely. Like, Jada really showed, man, he a true leader, man. He a real individual, man. Definitely. He showed up. But Santana's Town played. The crowd was fucking with it heavy and shit. Santana doing this thing. I ain't gonna lie though, man. It seemed like something slightly off about Santana. I know he was drunk and shit, and I know the thing about the teeth, and you know, he was probably high and all that. He snorted a little coke in the bathroom. They was late. But still though, man, Santana, you know, he extra wild and he sloppy at the same time. It's just kind of weird, man. But anyway, man, after they did Santana's Town, you know, that's kind of like a Dipset anthem too. They got Dipset. Can't say that shit so many times. But you know, after that, they went into the "Who Shot You" freestyle. Pretty much, when Jada, that's around the time Jada mentioned how these dudes, how Dipset, they ain't like really rappers like that. They was pretty much lip singing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what the versus battle was about, you know, performing at your best. But the Locks, they was spitting shit acapellas. It was the verses they was spitting was really them, bar for bar. They was out there sweating, giving every breath, every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears they can give, killing that shit. What Dipset, you know, they was kind of just lip singing, and Jada pointed that out, went straight into a the "Who Shot You" freestyle, killed that shit word for word, man. You gotta get Jada his props, man. He made the Dipset scene weak at a point, man. Jadakiss was on point, man. And y'all listening right now to me, I'm a huge Dipset fan. That's 100% facts, man. I'm not only a Dipset fan, a Dipset aficionado, man. I fuck with everything they do. But Jadakiss, man, he came with a whole nother energy and really shut it down, man. I remember back in the day arguing with old heads, and they used to talk about how good the Locks was. And you know, I always got respect for the Locks, but I be telling them like, yeah, Dipset, they do some wild shit, but Santana, he a real spitter. Jadakiss though, I used to compare Santana, like he can fuck with Jadakiss on the bar side. This changed my mind on that, man. Jadakiss is he's just on a whole nother level with the shit he was spitting in his bars, man. I always thought that'd be an interesting battle, like a smack battle, some Jadakiss and Jewels, man. I'm seeing now that would not be, man. Jadakiss is on a whole nother level. Santana got some other shit going on, man. I don't know if it's drugs or whatever, but something is slightly off about him, man. But definitely keep him in your prayers, man. Santana a whole legend, man. I love Santana, man. A whole Dipset. But Jadakiss, once Jadakiss mentioned to the crowd how they really spitting their bars, and they do, and the Dipset just pretty much lip singing and going over rehearsals and shit, pretty much the whole building shift. Especially if you was watching it live, there's no way you couldn't see this unless you was like some type of huge like Dipset Stan or something like that. But after that, Jadakiss killed the Who Shot You freestyle. Cam, to me, this was to me defined Dipset losing the battle. Cause I ain't gonna lie, man, I got 100% the LOX winning this battle, and I fucking love Dipset. I got more Dipset music than I got LOX music. I got my Cam music, more Jewels, more Jim Jones, 40 Cal, J.R. Ryder, Duke the God, all his. Man, I fucked with all of that shit, and I fuck with the LOX too, but I fuck with Dipset more. I got more of they shit, but I have to admit, man, this was the point where they lost. Jadakiss just mentioned how he a real lyricist, and pretty much he was saying like the Dipset ain't, they ain't really spitting like that. And he rapped and killed that shit word for word, bar for bar, no assistance to the Who Shot You freestyle. And what does Cam come back with? Cam comes back with Get 'Em Girls. Think about that, man. We in like Jadakiss said, man. We in the Mecca. We in New York. Cam actually came back with Get 'Em Girls, and Jadakiss spit all this hard shit, all these punchlines. Cam, he dropped Get 'Em Girls. He talking about he get computers putin' and shooters shooting, cuter cutin'. I'll leave you holy. You'll say holy moly. What? It was like it didn't match up. It was like one is grown man music and the other is just, it wasn't resonating like it was 15, 20 years ago. Jadakiss exposed that shit heavy as fuck, man. But it was so much shit going on. So much shit going on in the battle, man. Every round, I say about every round, after every round, at least 4 to 5 people got up on stage. It was getting more crowder and crowder. And the artists had less room to perform and do their shit, man. The stage was getting cut off. You couldn't even see the logo no more. But it was hella motherfuckers in the battle. I mean, watching the battle and shit. Influencers and shit. Hella people I wasn't even expecting to see, like commenting and watching the battle live and shit. Comedians, athletes. Even at the battle, they had Carmelo Anthony in the building and shit doing this thing, man. Fucking with it, man. It's a classic battle right here. But after Cam dropped that Get 'Em Girls, man, Jada they came back with some shit. I ain't gonna lie, man. When the LOX came out, man, I was super fucking young, man. I wasn't able to get on everything that they was putting on, so it was some shit that I ain't even hear before, but I knew was fire. And the delivery was crazy. But Cam performed 357. And the shit was, it hit, it was good, but it was just too much. That was old Cam. The crowd couldn't really get jiggy with that shit, man. And then, he dropped that. And then LOX came with 24 Hours to Live, man. That shit was fire. When they threw the beat on, the crowd went crazy. They took the crowd, man. The LOX had that shit. Jadakiss style sheet. And then what? What you mean to tell me, man? I gotta I gotta get on myself for this, man, because I was kind of going at Max B fans about this, man, talking about ain't no way in the hell Dipset gonna play a Max B song. They got too much shit. Why would they play a Max song? Why would Jim allow that? And not only did they play a Max song, they played like the main Dipset Max B song, man. The G's Up, Hoes Down. Jim Jones played that shit. I couldn't believe it. They actually played Max B, and the Styles P and the LOX, they mentioned it like, they done played Max. They actually played Max. I couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe Jim Jones got up there and said, G's up, hoes down. If the bitch can't swim, she gon' drown. You already know that's a classic, man. They pulled that out the bag. And you know what? I felt like they pulled that out the bag because they was losing so bad. And I'm a huge Dipset fan. And not losing like that, you know what I'm saying? Everybody won. This is a win for hip-hop, especially for New York. Especially for all that real bars and shit, man. Definitely, man. I'm just saying, though, the momentum was feeling crazy. But they played a Max B song, and I love that they did. I'm a huge Max B fan, man. That's a fact. But it was shocking that they did that. And how they did it, they just threw it on, didn't say nothing. Threw it on, Jim performed it, and then shit, it was the LOX turn. And shit, the LOX mentioned more about the lip singing shit. Like these niggas is lip singing. They ain't got no real bars. They can't do what we do. And you know they played the song and shit. I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't know what it was. This is like round 8. I ain't know what it was, but it was fire. It was fire, and they was spitting they shit word for word. So it was just like a different vibe when the Lox went up in they rounds. You was like really looking like, damn, these dudes, they audio, they verses are not playing through the speakers. This is them. We can hear their voice authentic through the. And if you was there, that shit was probably a fire live performance, man. The shit's crazy. They was killing that shit, going bar for bar. And Cam came back, and like this round 8, Cam came back with what did Cam come back with? Bout it. Now Lox and them, they performing Pacific songs. I know some of these tracks people might consider like mixtapes or B-side songs or songs that they can play on the radio, but they was killing that shit, and the crowd knew it word for word, killing that shit. And he comes back with Bout It. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love Bout It. Master P, No Limit, all that shit, but when a Lox getting at you about your lyrics and your bars and shit, Bout It, especially at that moment, they ain't the song to play. Just like how he play Get 'Em Girls right after Jadakiss freestyle. No, the Lox is really challenging you right now, bar for bar, to see where your lyrics is. It was just kind of weird to see him come back with Bout It after Jadakiss is like pretty much challenging him, like bar wise. Okay, we understand the hits, but Jada threw them. He threw the challenge of who the better like MCs, like and Cam and Dipset. They was just coming back with their regular shit, and it was fire. But you could tell the difference between the crowd, the comments, the vibes. The shit was getting so intense. Santana you could tell he was getting frustrated. He talking about Jada is panicking. He truly panicking. You could just see it. Santana was running around, acting like he face sleep on the stage. He got all this shit on. He got on a hat, a do-rag, a sun visor, a headband, a fitted cap, a skull cap. He had all kind of shit on, man. A jacket, a jersey on, Timberlands, Jordans. And he switched his outfits a bunch of times, man. But the shit was still fire, man. I fucking love Santana. I got every fucking Santana album ever. I fucking love Santana, man. They all legends. But I'm just saying, though, man. That just is what it is, man. But after they performed that Bout It, man, Lox, they came back with Dope Money, man. And when they threw that beat on, the crowd went crazy, and they were just fucking with this real shit these niggas was spitting, Styles and Jada. And they ain't need the fucking help from the audio, man. Preparation is key, man. All you youngins listening to this shit, even some of the old niggas, man. Preparation, man. Once you prepare for something, man, can't nobody stop you, man. You already seen the Lox were prepared. You seen it there, man. They was ready, man. Even they DJ. Shouts out to they DJ. They DJ definitely won that battle tonight for them, man. The Dipset DJ, man, he was playing shit off cue. He was fucking up bad, man. He was kind of like how DJ Academics was in the Soulja Boy versus the Blue Bow Wow battle. When DJ Academics got on the boards and started DJing for Soulja Boy, he was fucking shit up. The cues was late. He was turning the shit off too early. He was playing the shit too long. It was just all kind of mayhem. The Dipset DJ could have did way better, but I don't blame him though. He couldn't really get things, one thing I didn't like about this setup and this venue, even though Madison Square Garden is Madison Square Garden, all the shit that they had going on, I didn't like how they had the DJs on a whole nother platform way far away from the artists. I love how they on previous battles, I like Soulja versus Bow Wow, Gucci versus Jeezy, and all the Snoop versus DMX, Jada. They had their DJs right there. They can go talk to them. They can go get them advice. They can tell them what to play and what not to play. That's what made it. It was better with the DJs being so far. That kind of made it fucked up a little bit. Some of the cues was off, but not the Lox DJ. He had a shit in order. He was on point the whole fucking time, killing that shit. He didn't have to say a word. But the Dipset DJ was kind of off. But they played Dope Money, and then they played Welcome. After they played Dope Money, he actually played, they played Welcome to New York City. You already know, man, if you a Dipset fan, that's a classic Dipset fan. But one thing about it, though, what fucked it up, they was set up, they could have won. But Santana, he running around so fucking high off the coke and shit. And that drink, he had a bottle in his hand, all that, smoking pills, snorting coke, all of that. He had all that going on. He fucked it up, talking about, yeah, they ain't got no Dipset records like this. Him and Cam, pretty much. Y'all ain't got no New York records like this. Y'all ain't got no New York where this is the biggest New York record that's out that ever happened. Jada was like, oh, okay. So when they had, and then, the crowd was fucking with it, a little bit. They was singing a little bit, but not really like how. After it was over, Jada showed them what a real fucking New York anthem was. And I'm not even a Ja Rule fan, but I ain't gonna lie. That New York song was fire. The video and all that. Jadakiss dropped that shit like I do got some New York hits. Shut the whole shit down. He dropped I'm from New York. Man, what? The crowd went crazy. Was singing the shit word for word. Dipset was looking stupid. Like, damn. Jada, damn. They do got some New York shit. They did that, damn. That, and Cam, maybe chart wise, but no. If you think about it, no. That New York song with Jadakiss, Ja Rule, and Fat. They even showed Fat Joe was there. He was in the crowd. He was vibing off that shit. That was a classic. But that New York song was that was fire, man. That song was so fire. 50 had to go off. He had to go at Fat Joe and Jadakiss off that song. That was so fire. He even said in the interview, if the song wasn't good, I wouldn't even went at him like that. That I'm from New York. That shit was so fire, man. Everybody did their thing on that. But Jadakiss dropped that. That shit was crazy. And then, this was another stamp. Like when I told you, when it was officially that you noticed that the Lox won, when Jadakiss pointed out that the Dipset was just lip syncing and shit, and he killed that shit with the Who Shot Your freestyle, and Cameron came back with Computers Putin. That was the first one. This is the second moment when you knew the Lox officially won. Styles P, he gave a shout out to fucking Max B. Salute to the wave, to Bigger Veil. He gave a shout out to Max B, man. Jim Jones played a Max B song and didn't even shout the man out. Are you serious? He was in the man crew. Nobody did. I can see if he didn't shout him out. And maybe Cam or Jewels did, or Freaky did, but he played that shit. No one said a damn thing about Max. But guess who did, man? A Lox member, Styles P did. The Ghost did, man. He gave Max B some love, and then guess what he threw on right after that shit? He threw on fucking Locked Up, man. And I don't really fuck with Akon like that no more, but when that shit came out, man, that shit was going crazy. Styles killed that shit. That shit was super fire. Locked Up, what? And he sung that shit and killed that shit on his own. Didn't need no help or assistance. None of that. Killed that shit, man. Just straight fire. And so Jim Jones, he felt real offended by that, man. You could tell the tension was in there. They shouted out Max B. Jada came back with the New York, showed who really had the better New York song. So Jim Jones came back with the talking about what type of real blood he is and all that shit, and shouting out his gang, and he threw on Certified Gangster. And that just and when he threw on that song, that shit just reminded me how fucked up I was mad that they was at this venue, and I was thinking about Madison Square Garden is good, but I wish they had a way that they had it set up how the Soulja Boy and the Lil Bow Wow battle was. They was bringing celebrities out to perform they shit. I thought if Jim Jones was gonna perform Certified Gangsters, he was gonna bring Game out, bring out Lil Flip and shit. If you're a real fan, Dipset fan, you already know the original. He had Game and Lil Flip on that motherfucker, and Cam, all of them on that shit. I'm thinking he's gonna, nobody brought out no extras, man. The way this was set up, I know it's a 3-on-3 and it's two crews against each other. You kind of don't need to bring out no special guests, but still though, man, some special guests is so big, man, and some of them records so big. that you gotta have the special guest on them, man. You got to. But that was a good comeback from Jimmy though, to bring back that certified gangster, you know. But it still wasn't fucking with that New York and that Locked Up though, and you can feel it with the crowd. So after he dropped that though, you know, we in round 11 pretty much now. And you know, they had gave them warning, like, you know, they gonna shut them down early. You know, Cam mentioned it a few times. Jada too. You know, it was mad motherfuckers getting put on. They started the battle late. You know, that's why I fuck with Triller, man. Versus, man, they rock with us, man. They could have been shut that shit down, but you know, they gave them some time to let them rock out and do what they thing, man. Let them do what they do. We in New York right now, man. They in New York. They talking about, it was Styles P lit up a blunt on stage, man. I don't know if how much weed is legal out there, but shit is crazy, man. But anyway, the shit was fire. He threw on the after he threw on the Certified Gangsters, Lox threw on some shit. Like I said, man, Lox had some shit that was going on when I was like real super young to even keep up with. I'm still learning shit from the Lox. But they threw on some shit that I didn't know, but the shit was still fire, and the crowd was singing that shit word for word and rocking with that shit heavy. The shit was so crazy that Jim Jones had to come out with balling. He had to. It wouldn't have been right. The Lox was just sucking out all the energy. It was turning to a D-Block arena. So, you know, Jim Jones pulled out balling. You know, I fuck with Jim Jones heavy, man. He had the little Arab or Arab dude, Arabian dude, you know, with his jeweler put on a fly ass piece, man. Jada, all of them was iced out. I think the only person that wasn't iced out was probably Sheik and Styles. You know, that ain't they style, man. They grimy ass niggas, man. But yeah, though, that was a fly ass chain Jimmy threw on. He had his jeweler put it on. Styles was like, that shit corny. You know, Jimmy had the best. Jim Jones had the best jewelry there though, man. He had the coffins and the skull head jewelry. The coffin opened up and shit. Retractable coffin doors and shit, man. Jim Jones. Then that piece that the jeweler put on around his neck was fire. Had to be at least over 100K. But anyway, man, that shit was fire. You know, when he put that chain on, Jimmy did ballin'. You know, that's a classic song. You know, you can't compete with that shit. But once when you thought when the Lox it was when Jimmy poured out ballin', was when you thought when Dipset was damn shit. You know, they can take it from here. This was kind of like halfway midpoint through the battle. What do the Lox come back with? They come back with All About the Benjamins. They throw that shit on, the crowd go just as crazy. And you know what? The crazy thing about it, Santana played it so hard. So right after cause we already know Ballin' like one of the biggest Dipset records ever, man. I remember they was playing that shit through the playoffs and shit when the playoffs are going heavy. That was football players was doing the whole little Ballin' dance when they scored a touchdown. The shit was fire. It was a fire time to live in, man, for real. But when after they got done with Ballin', Santana all in Jadakiss face, all in style, all in their face, talking about y'all gonna play, we gonna make it, we gonna make it. Go ahead and play, we gonna make it, we gonna make it. They gonna play, we gonna make it. Looking just, I ain't gonna lie, he kind of looked like a crackhead at times, and I'm like, you Santana fans, man, back like cook crack, human crack in the fucking flesh. You already know, if you're a real Juelz Santana fan, you already know where that's from. But yeah, though, he was all in there, and he convinced me. I'm thinking and Jadakiss was like, man, come get Juelz, man. We already know Juelz was fucked up. We already know he got a situation going on. Thank God he got a wife that can take care of him. But Jada didn't throw on we gonna make it, man. The motherfucker threw on All About the Benjamins, man. Had Santana looking stupid. The crowd went crazy. It was nothing more you can really do with that. So look, at this point, this is supposed to be their last record. Cause look, a couple of songs before this, Cam was like, we only got 3 records left. They gonna shut us down. So the All About the Benjamins was supposed to be the last record that the Lox was gonna play. And the next song that the Lox chose, that the Dipset chose to answer back with was Killer Cam. And don't get me wrong, this is a fire song. I love this song, but this is not a song that you finna play against All About the Benjamins. This a B-side song. I fucking love Cam. Got all this shit. Fuck with him. I ain't gonna say since day one, but I say since like day 6 or 7. I've been fucking with Cam. And I got man, that's not the song you put up against All About the Benjamins. Even you seen it in the crowd face. The crowd wasn't really rocking with it like that. Jada was like, this what you gonna play for the last song? So, you know, everybody pretty much thinking this the last song. Turns out, man, they said they gonna get him like 20 more minutes. So Jadakiss came out. They came back out firing with some fire shit. With I think it was Kiss the Gang Goodbye and some shit. They killed that shit. The crowd was rocking with it heavy. And then Dipset came with the 5 Rings, man. I'm a huge fan of that song, but I don't know, man. The thing about it, man, Dipset is, I fuck with them heavy, but if you a real Dipset fan, you already know when 5 Rings came out. And the name of the song, man, we already know what that's about. R.I.P. to Kobe Bryant. I didn't hear one person say R.I.P. to Kobe, man. If it wasn't for Kobe Bryant, it would be no fucking 5 Rings songs, man. And then they fucking DJ so fucking stupid, he cut the shit off and then let him perform the chorus to the song. That's what make the song. The sirens, high beams, but I'm Kobe tonight. Got on 5 rings. Woo, that shit was fire. If you fuck with Dipset, you know, and that was like they comeback song when they all got back together and shit, like in 2010, 2011 type shit. DJ dropped the ball on that one, man. But and they Dipset did too, man. I ain't hear Cam, Jimmy, or Jewel say R.I.P. to Kobe, man. Cam said on that song multiple times, but I'm Kobe tonight. Got on 5 rings. They literally dropped the song right after Kobe won his 5th ring, man. They performed that shit at the BET Awards and all that shit, Hip Hop Awards, all that shit, man. But they didn't shout out Kobe, man. They was frustrated. The Dipset, the birds, you can see they feathers. They feathers was ruffled. Definitely, a few of them was plucked too. But round 15 though, Lox came back with some fire shit. I don't even know, but the crowd was rocking with it, and it was so, I didn't know what it was. Like I said, man, Lox came. I was super young. I was rocking with the Dipset more than the Lox. Well, I always fuck with the Lox, but you know, both of them. Between them two, G Unit, State Property, it's so many of them. But they dropped the song. It was so fire. I ain't know what the fuck it was, but that shit was so fire. The crowd was fucking with it. It was so hard. Cam had to come with "Hey Old Boy" afterwards, and that was the song I thought he was gonna play instead of the Killer Cam song when they was supposed to originally just play the 3 songs that it was gonna be over with. But he came with the "Old Boy" finally, and then they did the "Hey Ma." Jewel's killed that shit. Let me know Jewel still got some of that Santana in him, man. Some of that back like cook crack with him. He was able to perform that, even though he had help. You know, he still did that. I thought he was just blasted out of his mind. He was on some shit. But this one shit kind of went crazy though. You know, Jewel's, he put his foot in his fucking mouth again. Just like when he said that that they gonna play we gonna make it, y'all gonna play, and they didn't play that shit, and they turned the building up just as much with All About the Benjamins. The motherfucker said the Lox ain't had no records for the ladies, man. Why did Jewel say that shit, man? Jada had to call him out, Sheik, all of them, man. He must have bumped his fucking head, man. After that, we talking about round 16, man. The Lox, they just went straight into all their female songs, and nobody stopped them too. They just did their shit, man. They played "Ride or Die, Bitch." They had the song with Mariah Carey. They had some shit, man. It was to the point where even Dipset had to respect it. That's why they just sit back and let them do their thing. So many records. It literally, Santana, you seen the look on his face. It was like, damn, they do got records for the ladies. They play all their records for the ladies. Like I said, "Ride or Die, Bitch." That's a hood classic, and that shit more official than the records the Dipset had for the ladies. That's some real shit. You talking about "Hey Ma," We gonna get it on tonight versus I Need a Ride or Die, bitch. What? You tell me which one. You tell me which one is more realer, which one more for the streets. Come on, it ain't no comparison. But anyway, man, they went straight into that bag. Jada did the song. He had Mariah and shit. You know, they had. He went to the song they had. They had another song. The all kind of shit. Styles with ladies on. Then Jada finished it up with the Knock Yourself Out. And if y'all don't remember, that's a fucking hood class. That's a fucking classic right there. And that's for the females, man. If you don't remember that video, that's a classic video. He had a young Melissa Ford in her prime, man. Looking good, coming fresh out the swimming pool and shit, doing her thing, man. The shit was fire. Melissa Ford was looking so fucking good in that video. You know, after, I'm finna watch that video and right when I get done. A couple of times. I forgot about Melissa Ford, just the strength of that song, but they did so much shit, man. Jim Jones had to go on, you know, he went into his summer in Miami bag with Trey Songz and shit. And you know, this was one of them songs that really needed them. Like I said, a lot of people might disagree with this and don't even fuck with Soulja Boy and Bow Wow, but they set the standard on bringing out celebrities to perform their features and shit. This song really needed Trey Songz to pop out the crowd and do his verse, man. Jim Jones even had to ask the ladies for help. Like, you know, I can't sing, man. I need y'all to help me sing this, cause you know it's like an R&B track. Even though Jones killed that shit, I fuck with this song heavy. You know, I hit a few bars off this track too, man. This that song. That's a fact, but it needed Trey Songz to just come out there. But due to the way they had the stage set up, all the gangs, the extra niggas in that motherfucker, extra motherfuckers just everywhere. The DJs like 3 miles away. You gotta look at them with a damn telescope just to even. You gotta put on binoculars just to signal to your man. The DJ's just too far apart from the artist. But other than that, man, Jim Jones, you know, he came back with that, but it wasn't enough. Against all the Locks played like 5 fucking songs. Jim Jones played that next. So pretty much, this the part of the battle, like, you know, it's in round 17, man. It's kind of like they on borrowed time. We keep hearing like they want us to shut it. They gonna get shut down earlier. They only got like X amount of songs to perform. And then at the same time, you know, the shit is, you know, they still performing shit. And, you know, they had all the motherfuckers clear off the stage and shit. You know, not every single body, but they did real good. And then motherfuckers start piling back up again, man. What the hell is going on, man? That shit was pissing me off. But after they did they shit, you know, after Jim Jones came with the Summer in Miami shit, they came, Styles P put out a fat ass blunt. And what he play? I Get High. Killed that shit. Performed that shit word for word. The crowd was fucking with that shit heavy. And he played the one with the beat change to the I Got 5 on that beat. And he was still spitting that shit word for word. Not one, he didn't miss one step. Killing that shit. Like he fucking 20 years old, man. That juice that he drinking, man, really got Styles on a whole nother level, man. He doing this shit. Killing that shit. Fire. But, you know, after that shit, you know, Dipset, they came back with some shit. You know, and you know, this was you know, I already gave you 2 of them. The first one was when Jada pointed out that they couldn't rap, and Cam popped up with the computers Putin to come back with that. And the second one is when Styles shouted out Max and they didn't. This the third one right here. So Styles going crazy. He performed I Get High and I Got 5 on it with that beat, with that instrumental, and while he's still killing the shit. What does Dipset come back with? They comes back with the I'm Back, Santana's town shit. I'm Back though, with the little kid. And don't get me wrong, I fuck with that song heavy. The don't fuck Santana. That shit hard. But that wasn't a song to come back against the I Get High shit. That was a fire song, but and the way Jewels was and shit, like the crowd, they wasn't fucking with it like they was just fucking with that Styles. They wasn't, you know. And then he performed some other shit. The crowd seemed to be more into that, the murder shit he performed. And you know, after that, you know, they went in round 18, man. You know, Jada came with that shit. They threw that classic beat on. I forgot the name of that song, but they killed that shit. And then from there they went to the Stop Drop instrumental. And that shit was, and then they went to other shit I ain't even know. And the shit was so hard, the crowd was so turned up. Cam had to come out and he had to do the down with featuring the Kanye West. Cam had to let him know. He came out right out after them, man. And this was like pretty much the first song that Cam, that pretty much that the Dipset performed, that Cam performed like kind of live. It wasn't no vocals in the background on this. If you notice, when Cam performed the down featuring Kanye West, he didn't lip sing that song. He had to, he showed that he can actually rap and he can remember some shit. But that was the only song though. You know, Jim, he performed, he did a little bit of his shit in the Fire Ring song on that little part where the beat go off. He memorized a few bars, but Cam did this whole, you know, his verse on down, and he memorized that shit. So I was happy to see that shit, and that was it. And after he went into that, check this out, man. This how you know the Lox were real. This part 4. This the fourth reason why you know the Lox won. After that, the Lox performed about 6 songs next. And then the Dipset only performed 1. That closed out. They only won about 19 rounds. 19 rounds. They didn't quite reach the 20 rounds. Dipset performed 19 songs. And the Lox probably performed like 26. If you want to really get into the actual songs. But look, they performed Made You Look, Jada. He put that on at first and didn't spit that shit. He said we don't even need that shit. Fuck what you talking about. Then he threw on Money, Power, and Respect. Killed that shit. After he got done with that, he threw on By Your Side. Then he threw some shit on I didn't even know that was fire. Then he threw some more shit on that I didn't even know that was fire. Then he threw some more shit on that I didn't know that was fire. Then he ended that shit off with We Gon' Make It. And that shit was fire. And then Dipset DJ was all fucking up and shit. He kinda cut Jada off and they threw on I Really Mean It. Fucked it up. Or whatever. And Styles kinda spoke out and they had a New York moment and all that. Everybody threw their peace signs up and it's all love, and Cam performed that I Really Mean It and shit. And it was pretty much over with, man. It was some fire shit that was going on. It was a classic battle, man. I love it so much, man. It was a couple of tense moments, man. Jim Jones and Styles had to hug a couple of times to show niggas that everything was all good, because Santana was getting that shit tense as fuck. He was running around in niggas' faces. You kind of just wanted to backhand his ass, man. Give him some more new front teeth. But I fuck with Santana super heavy, man. I love Santana, man. He used to be, if not one of my favorite lyricists of all time, man. I fuck with them Back Like Hood Cracks, all of them, man. What the Game's Been Missing is to this day is one of the greatest hip hop albums that ever come out, man. That's a fact, man. Everybody did their thing. It was a little tension up in there, but at the end of the day, it ended with love, man. You know how New York go. They some of the grimiest, trilliest niggas that ever to walk the streets, man. And they was all able to get in the room and do their thing. They had niggas laid out on beach chairs on the damn stage, all kind of hood shit, man. 2 classic groups, man. Hip hop won this night, man. I fucking love that shit. Everybody killed that shit. But the Lox won, man, hands down, man. Jada commanded control. He did that. He used the experience. He used the fact that he's been in the versus battle before and he won. Jada 2-0 in the versus battle right now. I'm so proud of Jada, and I wasn't even rooting for the Lox. I wanted Dipset to win, and but the Lox won that shit, man. That's a fact, man. Sheik did his thing, Styles P did his thing, and they did their fucking thing, man. Shout it out, Max B, free Max B. Hopefully he be home soon. I hope all of y'all enjoyed the battle. This shit is classic, man. It's gonna be talked about for years to come, man. All these dudes legends though, man. But I hope all of y'all get some good rest tonight, man. That's a fact, man. Fuck with it, man. And just to think about it, man, I can't wait to see 50 and G-Unit battle and State Property battle and even Bad Boy battle, man. These Cash Money battle, No Limit battle, man. This was the first hip hop group battle, man. We see for the hip hop group battles, we gonna need more security, cause there's too many niggas on stage wilding out, drinking, smoking, doing their thing, feeling themselves, man. We need a little bit more control, and shit'll be all good though, man. But Definitely rock with the channel, man. We're gonna be talking about this for years to come. This was a classic fucking battle, man. D Block versus the Dipset. And I ain't gonna, if you was rocking with the whole battle since they first one live versus and shit, the DJ, he made a stupid ass mistake at the beginning. One of the DJs, right before the battle started, he was like, alright, y'all get ready, man. We got the Lox versus D Block. And the crowd was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He go, oh, I mean the Lox versus Dipset. He looked stupid in the motherfucker, but everybody was in there, man. Even some Instagram hoes was up in there doing their thing. You know, the little long tongue ball. She was up in there commenting, and they had a few comedians. Jess Hilarious was up in there. Tony Baker. It was athlete, man. It was fire, man. This is hands down the best versus battle they had. Number one, man. Ain't nothing competing with this, man. Fire, man. Definitely make sure y'all rock with it. Run them numbers up. Fuck with the channel. Like and subscribe. Definitely check out that battle on Triller, on Versus, all that shit, man. Run them numbers up, man. Facts! Cam had to let him know he came out right out after them, man. And this was like pretty much the first song that Cam